Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a committee of the whole meeting. We're back in Zoom land due to some COVID issues, but nonetheless, we will continue on doing our business. So let's get started. Would someone like to move the approval of the agenda?
So moved.
Thank you. Seconder, Councillor Granter.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I'd like to add an item to the agenda. I asked this item to be added last week on Wednesday,
Yeah.
but without getting into any details, I'd like to add the topic of re-establishment of standing committees of council. And I guess the appropriate spot to put that would probably be 10.1B or right after 10.1, which is committee structures in the first place.
We have, yeah, so right now on the current agenda, 10.3 is committee structure.
10.3, so we can add it with 10.3 or 10.3B or 10.3.
Yeah, there's no need to add an item there. There's a suggested motion there. You can make a motion on that topic however you wish, right?
Thank you very much.
Okay. Is there anything else there? Are we okay with the agenda? So we have some, so I guess that wasn't you seconding. Would someone like to second that agenda?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. All those in favor, raise your hand.
Aye.
Okay, I see everyone. Thank you. Approval of the minutes from March 28th. Someone like to move the approval of the minutes? Okay, Councillor Griffin, the seconder here. And Councillor Granter, thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Contradicted, carried. Okay, business arising from the minutes. Anything there? No? Okay. Oh, yeah, Councillor Pender. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. Just two items there. The first one was regarding the letter to residents. Has a new letter been reviewed yet, or is that still in progress?
And Mr. Cumby, go ahead.
You ready? Because
Go ahead. Sorry, Rodney. Try it again. I had you muted.
as I advised council last week, the letter will not be sent out as the city solicitor is still reviewing the piece on case law with regards to the human rights.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
And what was the second item there, Mr. Councillor Pender?
I had it written down, Mr. Mayor, and oh no, actually no, that's fine. We'll discuss it later under taxi regulations. That's fine. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Anything else there?
Nope.
Okay. Moving on. Proclamations and events. Now, I noticed that we had a proclamation when I was away last week. I don't know if Deputy Mayor, you would like to read this? You can go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. This was an exciting proclamation to bring forward because on April the 7th, 2022, we had Green Shirt Day in the city of Corner Brook. And Green Shirt Day was created to remember and recognize all victims and families of the Humboldt tragedy and to honor Logan Boulay, a victim in the tragedy whose organs were donated to save 6 other lives. To continue his legacy, this day is recognized in hopes to inspire Canadians to talk to their families and register as organ donors. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Worthwhile remembering that, of course. Next, Councillor Granter, we have a discretionary use on 105 Country Road. Would you please tell us about that?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. The city of Corner Brook has received an application requesting permission to construct a 3rd residential apartment in the building located at 105 Country Road. The building is located in the general commercial zone where the proposed use apartment building is considered a discretionary use of the City of Corner Brook's development regulations. The application was advertised to the public by means of the Western Star, the City of Corner Brook's website, and notice to occupant letters. the city did not receive any comments regarding the proposed development. And the proposed resolution, Mr. Mayor, is be it resolved that the council of the city of Corner Brook in its authority approve the application for the proposed apartment building at 105 Country Road, Corner Brook, Newfoundland. So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you very much. Would someone like to second that? Deputy
Second.
Mayor, got you there. Okay. I guess any questions, comments? I see Councilor Pender, you got your hand raised there. Go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
Got it?
Yep.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple questions. One, regarding the parking. So is it 3 units plus the business that's currently there? Or is it just going to be 3 units? Apartments, I should say.
Mr. Charters?
As I understand it, the business is no longer there. It would just be 3 apartments.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank
And
you.
Mr. Mayor,
We got Councilor Griffin there is in the queue. Councilor Griffin, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, wasn't there a business or a development on the back road? I think Deputy Mayor you brought last year, and because of it went to 3 apartments, it changed everything or something. Do you remember that? Or it seemed like if you have 2, it's fine under the zoning, but if you have 3,
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Right?
3 units is a 3 units.
It's
is
an
a-
apartment building.
yeah. So is everything good with that on this?
Yeah, this would be the reason why I guess it has to it's a discretionary decision here.
Okay.
Because it is an apartment, I'm assuming, again, it would have to, where's change of use, it have to be dealt with that way. Yes, Deputy Mayor.
Oh, no, Grantor, Councilor Grantor had
Oh,
his.
sorry, you still there? Go ahead, Councilor Grantor.
yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple of questions. So in the reading of this, my understanding is that the business is no longer there. And also there already exists 2 apartment units in that particular building right now. And the proposal is for 1 extra apartment building to make it 3 in total. That's the way I read it. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And the other question for the benefit of,
Can you let my
Residents of the-
he's crying at the door?
and so the other question that I have for the benefit of residents under the background information, when we say that we advertise in the Western Star, as well as on our Corner Brook website, also notice to occupant letters. So that would be a notice that would have been sent via letter from the city staff to residents in the neighborhood. Would that be accurate?
Mr. Charters?
Yes, that is correct.
And it would take in an area that would be, what would be the circumference? What would it be within half a kilometer off that building? Would it be in 500 meters? I'm just trying to get a feel for, so that the residents understand if there's a development taking place in their neighborhood, that they would receive a letter if you live in close proximity to something.
There are stipulations about how far we're required to advertise. I don't know the number off the top of my head, but staff often go way beyond that to reach the broader neighborhood.
And in this case, there was no responses that came back to the negative in this particular case.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Deputy Mayor? Go ahead.
Okay, you got me unmuted. So just to make it clear, I guess to follow up on what Councilor Griffin said, so 3 apartments makes it now an apartment building? Is that true?
Yeah, 3 units is the maximum number of units in a normal sort of residence is fine. 3 makes it an apartment building.
And does that bring a new set of regulations or like, okay,
Yeah, like an apartment building is for example, in a residential medium density, this case here, it's commercial, I believe. Right now,
it is commercial.
in a residential medium density, an apartment would be a discretionary use, not a permitted use. So while you could put a house with a basement apartment, as soon as you put a 3rd unit in there, it would require a discretionary permission of council to do that, right?
Okay, and we never got any feedback from the residents?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions on this one? Oh, yes, Councillor Griffin, go ahead.
Just wondering about the, it sounds like we're covered on the building code. What about fire code? I'm thinking sprinklers and stuff like that. Is it necessary, not necessary, or does that come into the equation?
Go ahead, Mr. Charters.
I don't know if it's sprinklers are required at this point. Typically, when you go from a 2 apartment unit to a 3, changes to an apartment building, as the mayor said, and with that could change a lot of fire code regulations in the building because of that change. We wanted to get this approved before any design work is done, before like the sprinklers and things of that nature are investigated. But yes, typically it would bring it up to the next level of fire protection in the building required. Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
And this would, of course, mean, again, there's building permits associated often with these kind of developments. In this case, this is a development application. So it's a good use, of course, and you know that, having inspected many of these buildings in the past. Yes, Mr. Cumby, you had something to add there? Go ahead.
I'm good. I am good now. I think Mr. Charters answered it.
Perfect. Okay, anything else on this one? Okay, we'll take it to a vote. All those in favor, say aye and raise your hand.
Aye.
Contraminded? Okay, don't see any contraminded. Approved. Next item, we have a report from Engineering, Planning and Development. Councillor Gill.
Mr. Mayor. Yeah, so we've got a bit of an update here now. Thank you, Mr. Charters, for providing the information to me. We meet on and off weekly, and it's great to meet and get a heads up on the sorts of things that are going on in the city. So thank you for this. The Corner Brook Regional Recreation Center, I know everybody's very excited about that in the community. So at this point now, they're basically setting up, demolishing, and getting the site set up for the next stage, which will be the build. And it says here, work trailers were scheduled to arrive on site last week. And I think they did, right? Yeah, I've been up there and I've seen them. That's great. And the contractor is also expecting delivery of some materials like pipe and fencing in the coming days so that the project will really get some teeth soon. Structural foundation permits and civil work permits have been issued. And as we've been saying all along, the completion date is fall of 2023. With respect to the Mount Bernard Avenue rebuild project, which is huge, Dillon Consulting is proceeding with the design phase for the project with a revised scheduled tender date of late April. It is expected that the project full roadway and services rebuild will be completed over 2 construction seasons, which falls in line with the completion of the new hospital. I'm going to put you on the spot now, Mr. Charters, and I'm going to ask you, when will residents here start to see signs on Mount Bernard that they can't proceed down that way? Is it going to be this summer that's going to start?
Sorry, I keep muting and unmuting.
There you go. You're good.
Yes, you will see construction this year. This is intended to be a 2-phase project, so we'll do 1 phase this year and then 1 phase the following year. Like the note says, the tender will go out in late April, probably May before that closes, June in that time frame, late June, early July, you'll see the project really start to ramp up at that time.
So we're going to ask patience from our residents because it will make our city a stronger place and will help us prepare for bigger things like the hospital that are going to be using that pathway. So bear with us. With respect to the multi-year capital projects, there's a number of notes here regarding retaining walls at Petrie's, East Avenue, and Gibbons. And they were awarded last fall, and so construction is going to begin this spring. In addition, Blackwood's culvert and bridge replacement, Bell's Brook culvert, and Yeah, those two have design ongoing. And then intersection upgrades, Lewin at the Mill Road, and Lewin at Griffin Drive. Design is nearly complete. Equipment's being ordered and tender packages will be developed. And again, we're going to beg our residents' patience when those projects do actually go through, because it will make it a better place here for traffic. Citadel Drive PRV station upgrades, design underway, tender package being developed. I'm going to stop now because I need to ask a question. What does PRV stand for? Darren, I missed that when I was reading through this package for the meeting.
Pressure reducing valves.
Oh, what valves are we reducing?
What happens when you go up and down hills, things of that nature, the pressure can go really high. So you want to have a valve to be able to regulate the pressure in the water system.
Okay, thank you. I learned something new today. Finally, development and planning. Yes, this is important. The new integrated municipal sustainability plan and development regulations. I mean, we've been asking for residents' input over and over and over and over. I really hope that anybody that has any issues with our development regulations or our sustainability initiatives that you would have fed into this by now. But if you haven't, Upland Consulting is completing in moving into the final stage of the project. And they'll be using the input and direction from us once they report to us on that final, what that finally looks like. And the public, major stakeholders also are weighing into this, and the consultant will draft the final report and development regulations. Once the draft documents are completed, it will be submitted for further comment. So I don't think we're quite final yet. So if there is anybody that has any issues with development regulations or the way things are laid out in our community with respect to sustainability, now is your chance. Email any of us or Mr. Charters, or I mean, I don't see the actual consultant's email here, but certainly we can provide that to the public. And I think that's it.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone have any questions on any of these? Oh, Darren, Mr. Charters, you have something to say there?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that we actually did receive the first draft of the report this morning. So staff will be going over that and meeting to kind of massage it a little bit to get it to a point where we can present it to council and the public. So that's great news. We did get that report this morning.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Pender, you've got a question there? Go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just on the Mount Bernard Avenue rebuild project, the Dilling consultant is working on that. I've asked before about the bike and walking trails being incorporated into that to make a connector between, say, University Drive and Millbrook Mall, if we could, because we don't really have a bike lane or a bike path of such there. We do have a sidewalk on one side. I'm just wondering if that has been taken into consideration and if that's going to be looked at during the reconstruction. It would be a prime opportunity to get it done, I think.
Yeah, Mr. Charters?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, we did ask the consultant to have a look at that. I haven't seen the latest design. We're just getting into the design. I believe the 66% were submitted to us for a look. So we did ask them to take a look at that. I haven't seen them yet, but we'll ask, I'll follow up on that.
Excellent, thank you.
Councillor Grinder? Go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, for anyone that drives down Mount Bernard in the morning or drives up Mount Bernard in the morning, anywhere from 8 until 9-ish, will find out that there's considerable amount of traffic coming up Mount Bernard, trying to turn right into Corner Brook Intermediate, right at the crest of the hill. And just wondering if there's been any so you get cars that are coming up, trying to turn in right, and you get cars going down Mount Bernard trying to turn in right into Corner Brook Intermediate. Wondering if there's been any thought given to some enhancements to that particular street once we're doing Mount Bernard to alleviate some of that problem, because as you know, that school is going to be there for many years to come. I drive that route every morning, and it's you get stuck there with cars trying to turn right and also cars trying to turn left at the same time.
Mr. Charters?
Through Mr. Mayor, again, I haven't seen the design yet. There are a lot of constraints on this project, so adding bike lanes or turning lanes is going to be a challenge, but I will look into that and follow up with council.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions on any of these items? Councillor Petter, you still got your hand up, or are you?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a question on the IMSP. So some residents have put in suggestions, council have met and put in suggestions. Will we get a readout of all of the comments, suggestions, and so on that were handed in to Dillon Consulting, or Upland Consultant, sorry, with respect to the IMSP before the final documents or the semi-final documents come forward?
Mr. Charters?
Yes, typically any comments received from the public, stakeholders, council, etc., or are summarized and included as an appendix. A lot of times they'll take that data and put it into a more graphical version so people can see that easier. But yeah, it's typically an appendix to the report. It will be included.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, any other questions? Okay, great. Moving right along. Next, Councillor Pender, we have some taxi regulation changes that were brought forward before. Would you please take us through this item?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. The city has been approached by an individual representing our three taxi companies, City Taxi, Star Taxi, and Corner Taxi, requesting that the city permit the taxi companies to implement a fuel surcharge to the current taxi rates. Over the past several months, the taxi owners have seen significant increases in fuel costs that is challenging the feasibility of their operations. To help deal with this added fuel costs, our taxi companies are requesting that the city permit the addition of a $2 fuel surcharge when their fuel costs exceed $1.65 per liter. The fee schedule depicting current rates is as follows. So the current taxi rates, a drop rate is $4.13 per 0.125 kilometers is a quarter, 26 cents, and the waiting charge is $34.51 per hour. To ensure Corner Brook taxi industry remains sustainable with rising costs of operation in the city of Corner Brook, be resolved that pursuant to the powers vested in it by virtue of Section 229 of the City of Corner Brook Act 1990 and all other enabling powers, the City of Corner Brook, the Council of the City of Corner Brook hereby amends the taxi regulations 2018 by adding a fuel surcharge that will increase the fare to be paid by users of taxis by $2 when our city's self-serve regular unleaded fuel prices exceeds $1.65 per liter, as per the revised Schedule D of the Corner Brook Taxi Regulations 2018. I so move.
Thank you very much. Would someone like to second that? Oh, we got a lot here. Let's see, Councillor Gill, I think we got you there. We see you. So we have a question here, Councillor Granter. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. For the benefit of the public and really for myself as well. So Councillor Pender just quoted that the drop rate is $4.13. So in taxi terminology, the drop rate would be, and correct me if I'm wrong, that would be the actual meter, the actual meter as soon as the taxi picks an individual up. So that will be currently $4.13. Would that be accurate?
That is correct. But that does not include the HST, I might add. So
right. Okay. So $4.13. So with the new fuel charge at $2, so when gasoline in the city of Corner Brook is $1.69, I think Councillor Pender said, or reaches $1.69 or $1.69 and above, the fuel charge is $2. So does that mean that $2 gets added on to the $4.13 drop rate, or is it a percentage of the $2? Just so people in the public can understand.
Yes, that'll be a direct addition to the drop rate. A $2 charge will be added.
Okay. Any other questions on this one? No, I think we've talked about this a few times now because it did come back from the previous committee of the whole, and then there was notice of motion, of course, and now we're at the vote stage. Councillor Pender, do you have another question there? Go ahead.
Just want to clarify, Mr. Mayor, I read out $1.65 when price of unleaded gas goes over $1.65, not $1.69.
Perfect.
Just thank you. Thank you.
Gotcha.
Thank you, Mr. Councillor.
Any other questions or comments? Councillor Gill?
I was just going to say, Charles, that you're so nasal that I didn't know the difference between 5 and 9. Just
Councillor Griffin, go ahead.
I'm just wondering how this is going to work. Like if it goes up tonight, so they just on their own raise it, and then if it goes down, the cab companies on their own would take it back, or is there anybody going to be watching this, or how's that going to go?
Well,
Yeah, go
Mr.
ahead.
Mayor? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. This increase or decrease will be monitored by our municipal enforcement who monitor the taxi program in the city today. But I will add that this number is going to be controlled by the Provincial Public Utilities Board. So it the actual Schedule D will reference that. Those
Okay.
increases for Zone 6.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep. And I guess just to add to that, there's certain practical realities of how meter changes have to be done. So it would be impractical to change them frequently. So hopefully we have much lower than $1.65 gas, not around $1.65 gas all the time. So yes, go ahead, Deputy.
So correct, I guess just for point of clarification, so if it goes down, then it'll be self-regulated, or, because I mean, I'm all over the place here now. Or does it have to come back to us for approval again if it goes up and we need to increase it, or we need to decrease it? Because we could have to increase it too, don't forget.
Go ahead, Mr. Flynn.
Yes, the legislation or the bylaw is written so that it would respond directly to the increase. And it's only when the price exceeds the $1.65 a liter does the $2 fee be applied. So it's for the most part, the taxi industry would regulate that themselves. However, we will monitor the behavior to ensure that they are in compliance with whatever the gas price is at the time.
Okay,
Okay, any other questions? Okay, let's take it to a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Counterminded? Okay, none, carried. Next, we have another bylaw update. Councillor Griffin, recreational vehicle regulations.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Background information, the Corner Brook Recreational Vehicle Regulations will require amendments to align with the new Off-Road Vehicles Act. Proposed resolution, the new Off-Road Vehicles Act repeals the Motorized Snow Vehicles and All-Terrain Vehicles Act. The Corner Brook Recreational Vehicles Regulation relied on the provisions of the Motorized Snow Vehicles and All-Terrain Vehicles Act and will need to be revised to rely on the new Provincial Off-Road Vehicles Act. The new legislation provides opportunity to further improve the Corner Brook Recreational Vehicle Regulation for 2021. Staff recommendations. The definition of peace officer is to be expanded to include municipal police officer. So enforcements can be conducted under this act by our MEOs. Permission to operate off-road vehicles along a roadway for a maximum of 1 kilometer, providing speed is below 20 kilometers an hour. With the ministerial approval, we may be able to further extend the operation of an off-road vehicle along the provincial roadway, enabling further trail connections in and around our city. Another thing to remember, training is required for new operators registering off-road vehicles. And finally, enforcement powers, such as establishing compliance check stations and fines and penalties, including ATV seizures for non-compliance. Financial impact, and this is just to finish up, income from the permitting fees will offset costs associated with managing the ATV program in our city. That's an information, Mr. Mayor.
And I noticed as well, there is a couple of other things there in the expanded recommendation. There's a recommendation for adding a fee, Mr. Flynn, and as well to designate special events for operation on streets like Jigs and Wheels coming up the summer as well.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, that is correct. We will be implementing or recommending the implementation of a fee during our next revision of the Act, which will occur very shortly, actually. We're working on it now. And we are looking for some means for council to approve, festivals or use of ATVs for certain special events in the city in various areas or the whole city. So we're going to try to put that in legislation to empower that.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions, comments on this? So there's a good opportunity here to have a chat about these things before we get into language of a bylaw revision. Councillor Gill, go ahead.
Hi, as someone who has been dealing with somebody tearing up and down my street on a snowmobile all winter, which obviously is not permitted, try though I might to ascertain their identity, I was not successful. At any rate, with that in mind, I just really want to be clear about the pathways that these all-terrain vehicles are going to be allowed to use. I will admit it is not my style of living. I don't use ATVs. It's not my thing. I get that it's good for the city, though, in certain respects. But I really want us to consider how we're going to monitor ATVs ripping up and down streets where they shouldn't be ripping up and down. So I'm just throwing that out there for discussion. Thank you.
Yeah. And
I can respond.
Yeah, please, Mr. Flynn.
Yeah. Well, as we did in previous years, we will be conducting a monitoring program, an enforcement program in relation to use of all-terrain vehicles throughout the city. When it comes to snowmobiles and dirt bikes, they kind of fall outside this bylaw. They're not supposed to be on our streets anyway, or on trails or whatever. It's always a challenge, even before this regulation came into place, to deal with these vehicles on our streets at times. So the best I could tell you is that we will ask for the RNC to increase enforcement in problem areas, as we did in the past. I will add that the city itself is in the process of procuring a ATV vehicle that will be used for enforcement purposes as well. So we'll actually be doing more enforcement along the designated routes and trails in the city. So.
Thank you. And I know it's not possible to govern every single action, but just as long as we have a plan in place to, just as long as we have it in our mind that it's something that needs to be regulated. Thank you, Mr. Flynn, for that. Thank you.
And just to remind everyone too, I guess the last change we brought into place was to permit specific access for permit holders. So I guess this is where previously residents were able to get approval, a limited approval, depending on where they were, to gain access to the trail system from their home. But it was only on certain permitted routes, so avoiding main thoroughfares and things like that. And of course, all the stipulations of a normal road vehicle would apply. You have to have insurance, you have to have a license, you have to have a registered vehicle. As Mr. Flynn, maybe you could tell us, but as far as I've understood from our partners at the RNC, we haven't had significant issues with that program where there's been, significant complaints or abuse.
There, in the history of us introducing this legislation, there have been two violations issued, and they were blatant violations. A person who operated totally off the designated route without a permit, and another gentleman was operating without a helmet on one of the routes. So that's all that's occurred. Now, I won't deny that we've had dirt bike complaints down in the Curling area, up at Georgetown Road and those areas. And but they've always been there, even back in the 80s when I was a policeman here in the city, that we were dealing with that back then. So it continues, and we'll continue to work to try to alleviate some of the concerns.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments on this? Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Pamela, go ahead.
Yeah. So for me, it's just the noise, right? Like if they could invent a muffler for all those devices that would make them completely silent, I would have no issue with anybody doing anything. But the problem is the noise. They're super loud. And yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything else to say about that, but they're loud and they wake us up in the middle of the night. And that's a problem in the city. Thank you.
I could add to that. Mr. Mayor, our bylaw does have time stipulations between 7 a.m. and 10 p.m. So anyone operating outside that are operating illegally. So, and we do have a provision in the bylaw that prevents the aftermarket exhaust systems that or cans, they call them, that make loud noises. They are not permitted in the city as well. So there are some opportunities to deal with those issues.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Okay. Yeah, the new law that was brought in by the province does give us some opportunity to find new routes into the city, especially on the North Shore. So we've been working with the snow riders as well as other private sector partners who have just find some ways to safely and legally get tours and into our city, especially on the east end of the city, the North Shore Highway. So now being able to travel up to 1 kilometer along the highway, we might be able to break it up effectively so that no one is skirting the law as they try to get to our city. So that's very good news. So I'd rather things be legal and safe than people trying to skirt the law and do things that are unsafe. And of course, we want to make sure we maximize the benefit of this, but not at the expense of someone's safety. So, yes. Okay, well, we'll hear more about that in the coming weeks, I'm sure, because it is approaching. When does the season start here, Mr. Flynn?
On May 15 it starts, so we hope to have everything in place before then. So,
perfect. Okay, thank you. Council Keeping, we have a community services project update. There you go. Go ahead.
Okay. Cleanup Corner Brook will occur the entire month of May. Staff are putting the final touches on the program and will release the details in the coming weeks. The basic premise is that residents can collect garbage at all priority sites around the city, and for each bag of garbage collected, you will receive one ballot for cash prizes that will be drawn during the first week of June. The more garbage you collect, the more entries you get for the cash prizes. Let's get out and clean up our city so we can get ready to welcome guests to our beautiful city for Come Home Year 2022. The Jigs and Wells Festival is in full swing, and we encourage people to check it out on our website. So far, we have several events planned for the exciting week, including Blame It on Broadway, the Red Fest, Classic Car Show, Corner Brook Day, and much more. Also, if you are interested in exploring sponsorship opportunities, please visit our website and click on the sponsorship links. The FACE program, the city would like to announce the launch of this program for 2022. This program is intended to assist local businesses with improving the appearance of their business by providing a grant. Although this program was very successful early on, it has become stagnant due to the financial challenges faced by local businesses. The current program offers a grant of 75% of the cost of the improvements on the first $10,000 investment and 50% of the investment over $10,000 for a maximum grant of $10,000. For some, even 25% of the improvements cost has become a significant obstacle to overcome. Given this, the new program will offer 90% of the first $10,000 and 75% of the investment over $10,000 for a maximum total grant of $10,000. Please contact us at base@cornerbrook.com or visit our website for more details on this program. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. Anyone have any questions there?
No.
I would say that I have seen more recently some residents out as the snow recedes out doing some group trash cleanup. I saw a group up at near the Civic Center doing their part to clean up some of the sins of the winter. And it's really great to see. We've sponsored trash cleanups for a number of years, and it certainly does make a difference. Again, kudos to those people who do take it upon themselves. And if you are planning a group outing for that, please get in touch with us here at the city, because we'd be happy to support you in that initiative. Yes, who do we have here? We have Councillor Griffin. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a comment. Coming down the back road here, O'Connell, just before you get to JJ, the province had a big sign there about not littering and the fines and stuff like that. But they did some work there. I think it had to do with that construction or that development on top of the hill there, and they never put the sign back. So I'm wondering, can we send something to the province and ask them if there are any plans to, because I think the more of these signs we have around, just to remind people, you shouldn't have to do it. I get it, but we should have signs up and especially where that one was there, and just to see if they can put it back. It's never a bad idea. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. And I don't know, again, would that be in Mr. Charter's department or to confer with the provincial signage, or what do you think? Yes? Yes. Okay. Sounds good. Councillor Pender, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to comment on the cleanup item. One thing I noticed walking around town is that we have some businesses that take the time and make the effort to clean up the sidewalks in front of their building. Now, we do have a bylaw about keeping your sidewalks clean and clear of snow in the winter. I know a lot of businesses depend on the city to do that for them, but there are several businesses in Corner Brook that do it themselves. And I'll just say that walking West Street the other day, what a pleasure it was to walk in front of some buildings that had their sidewalks swept. However, you really notice when the others are not done. So without getting into an enforcement issue, I'd just like to put a call out there for all of our local businesses in the downtown to make the effort to get a broom or whatever it takes to clean up in front of their sidewalk. And let's not wait until the city gets at it with our sidewalk sweeper. We'll do that when we get there. But everybody has a responsibility to keep the city clean and keep the dust from blowing in people's eyes and so on. So it'd be if you want to get people into your buildings, you have to make them look attractive. You have to make it look clean, and it's all part of getting people in there downtown. So just like to throw that little reminder out there. And I don't know if there's any way our city can make that reminder to businesses directly, but on our website or whatever. But we do have a bylaw that requires people to keep their sidewalks clear.
Right. And Councillor Pender, you're right. And I guess if nothing else, out of self-interest, if you're a business in the downtown, of course, we want to make it an appealing place for people to walk. Now, obviously, this time of year, as the snow recedes, there is going to be, an excess of litter and cigarette butts and all these things that were hidden by the snow. But you're absolutely right. And I'm sure we can, Mr. Cumby, I'm sure we can get the word out via social media and that as much as possible to clean up. But as you say, it will take us a while, and that's a good point as well. It is going to take us a while for us to get our cleaning, street cleaning and sidewalk cleaning on the go. Believe it or not, we're not out of winter yet. So it will take a while for us to get sweepers out there to do any serious work. So please bear with us during this relatively dirty, dusty time of year as well. Councillor Gill, go ahead.
when the final touches are put on this program for people to avail of those ballots for collecting garbage, where will they find those? Will they be on our Facebook and our website? And will it be prominent? And where are we sharing that? Like, are we going to reach out to schools and make a program out of it for fundraising for schools and that sort of thing?
And Mr. Charters, do you have any insight into that?
This is the starting point for that communication. We will work with our communications officer to get the word out as best we can. It's been very successful in the past. I think a lot of people are looking for the opportunity, so it shouldn't be that hard of a sell, to be honest, but we'll do our best to get the word out and get people out participating.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments here? I'd also like to put in a plug for the FACE program as well. So this is, of course, the facade improvement. So if you have a business that could use a facelift, this is a very generous program. I mean, at first 10,000, you put up 1,000, you can get 9 back. If you, you have to get approval, first of all, before you do the work. And you've got to, you got to show receipts, of course, for your contractors and materials and things. But again, it's an excellent opportunity to give your business a facelift. We want to make our city look the best it can and keep it modern. And again, especially in the downtown area, we want to make a very walkable downtown with good signage and attractive properties. So if you're a business owner out there, please get in the queue because it will go fast. And generally, it's first come, first serve if you qualify. So please get in touch with our business facilitator quickly. Okay. Okay, anything else there? No, moving on. Deputy Mayor, we have an update on what's going on in our Civic Center.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Just a bit of background information on, I guess, stuff that's and activities that have started in view of COVID over the winter. So background information is that after the closure of all sports recreation meetings on January 3rd, 2022, activity has returned to normal at the Civic Center and its recreational programming. The road to normal was filled with many challenges, both in the public and many users of the Corner Brook Community Center. On January 24th, teams and individuals were allowed to practice without game. However, the requirement for social distancing remained the same. As such, minor programming like volleyball, basketball, soccer, minor hockey, and figure skating started practices while adult teams and leagues were still not permitted to participate. As of February the 14th, new guidelines for recreation were announced, and essentially facility operators from a scheduling perspective returned to normal. Games, tournaments, participation in physical activities were permitted without social distancing or masking. Leagues and groups returned to the ice in the studio gym on Monday, February 14th, and that's continuing now. While provincial health guidelines allowed full participation in sports and recreation, a return to normal, COVID remained a constant theme. The high prevalence of COVID in the community, a new Omicron variant with increased transmittability was reduced public health restrictions combined to impact individuals, teams, leagues, and overall recreational activities. The center experienced high levels of cancellation due to COVID positive cases within the recreational community. Recreation groups demonstrated an ongoing commitment to moving forward with programming despite the increased ongoing incident of COVID. The walking track reopened with extended hours from 7:30 in the morning to 9:30 in the evening, Monday to Sunday, and general skating returned for the general public. All recreational program has returned to the studio. So our studio recreation programs are the same as what they were the last 2 weeks or a month ago when I reported on it. So you still have your older adult fitness with Nora Lundrican. You have your active tots, you have drop-in yoga, drop-in pickleball, adult lunchtime sports drop-in, and youth drop-in. And these are some things that are all available online on our Civic Center. So you can go in, find out the cost, find out the days that they're offered, and they're there for you. And for more information, check out Corner Brook Civic Center Facebook page or call 637-1232 for details. So you should go get them there. And the highlights, go ahead. Did somebody?
Go ahead.
Somebody said, I thought you were going to stop me. Ask me if I was doing pickleball. Highlights for the events hosted since this happening. The Western Kings AAA resumed play, and the under-18 AAA Hockey League finished their regular season. 2 female basketball provincial Newfoundland training camps and seminars in February, March. 3 volleyball tournaments at a provincial tryout camp has happened. The past weekend, 40 teams from across the province used the studio. CBI Grenfell gyms competed in the under-14 and under-17 provincials on Friday and Saturday. The under-13 female AAA provincials and the under-15 female league also played. Provincial Figure Skating Championships 2020. The first time it was held in 3 years, which is always good to get stuff back, but it's more encouraging to know that after 3 years we're finally back again for a little while, hopefully for a long time. And Western Regional Timbitch U9 Jamborees is going to be on Saturday, April 9th. That's the past weekend. Meetings and training sessions began in March, as well as 3 craft fairs. And the Corner Brook Minor Hockey is set to conclude its regular season program on April 14th. The association will be hosting 2 HNL provincial tournaments during Easter week, Monday, April the 18th to Wednesday, April the 20th, with 11 teams from across the province. Shout out to the Western under-18 AAA minor crushers winning the provincial championship on April the 3rd. And fax passes are no longer required at the Civic Centre. Mask and social distancing are strongly encouraged, but not required. Thank you. It's a lot of information, but
Absolutely.
stuff's happening.
Nothing wrong with that. Any questions there? Yeah, it is definitely good to see things getting back on the move and back to normal as much as can be right now. And hopefully we'll over the summer now into the fall we'll get back to our regular schedules again, and events and meetings and conventions and all those wonderful things as well. Okay, thank you very much. Next, this past week, the Accessibility and Inclusiveness Committee met. Councillor Granter, maybe you sit on that committee. Could you give us a little update there?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. As you said, we met on April the 6th, and Deputy Mayor Sherry Shawn chaired the meeting. Councillor Penner was there that particular evening as well as Councillor Keating. I won't go through all the minutes, but I'll just do a quick summary. Staff is in the process of examining options and obtaining quotes for hearing assistive devices for use at City Hall for any resident that might come down and need an hearing assistive device to use when he or she might be at City Hall, especially if they come and want to listen in at council meetings. We're also discussed looking at the patio standards, especially moving into the summer. The business community putting patios out by their businesses such that they're accessible for people in wheelchairs, etc. As mentioned earlier this evening by Councillor Keeping and others on the facade face program, just want to remind businesses that one of the aspects of that particular program, there are monies available for wheelchair ramps that whether permanent or mobile that you could use for your businesses in the city of Corner Brook. So there's some monies available for that you can reach out. And if you're considering making your business wheelchair accessible, and we all know that those people that are in wheelchairs, they'll come into your business and shop and spend their money if they can get access to your business. And if they can't get access to your business, well, it makes it really, really difficult for them to get in, and they're not going to spend their money or be able to shop or browse or spend an afternoon out and about in the city. We do know businesses around the city that do have access for people in wheelchairs and for people that are not in wheelchairs but find it difficult to walk, and it's easier for them to walk up a ramp into a business. So I would encourage those businesses that to avail of the FACE program. Also, Mr. Mayor, the committee would like to explore ways to further increase access to the service and meet more accessibility with regard to taxis as well as buses in our city. The committee is also open to make improvements to city events and amenities such that they can be improved picnic tables, as an example, in the park. Rib Fest, it came up that last summer, even though that program came together fairly quickly, and we noticed that we didn't have accessible benches for people in wheelchairs to be able to eat their lunch that particular day down at Rib Fest. So city staff is looking at that. I understand in the past that we did have some picnic tables that were wheelchair accessible, or wheelchairs could actually go underneath. And finally, Mr. Mayor, the committee also discussed the attendant pass program, and that's where residents who want to attend a city event can have a partner go free of charge, or someone to assist them free of charge to go to that particular event. And that's a good thing to have. It passed at City Hall in a previous meeting, but I remind residents that have accessibility issues that as we move into Come Home Year festivities and activities throughout the summer, that you can avail of that particular program as well. So that was our quick update on the April 6th meeting, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. We got a couple of questions here, it looks like. Councillor Gill, go ahead.
And it's not so much a question as a comment. The report that was just tabled, and no criticism, it's a wonderful report. Just curious as to where I get the accessibility piece, I get the physicality, the physical accessibility piece, but where is this committee going to focus on, say, LGBTQ? For instance, several times during this meeting, we've been using pronouns like he and she. And that's fine in terms of who we have around the table, I'm assuming. But I would be curious, I would like for that committee to have a look at where we are with inclusiveness for people who are non-binary, who don't identify as she or he. I encourage everyone, and I just did it now, actually. On my other Zoom profiles, I didn't have it, but I did it just now. I encourage everyone to put their pronouns after their name, because when you do that, it makes it a safer place for people who may be venturing into a world that they are afraid of. And by opening the door of labeling or identifying how you identify, it makes it easier and more safe for them to do the same. So I would really like for that committee to take this away and have a look at not only the physical accessibility, but the emotional, social, mental, LGBTQ questioning accessibility as well, and how our policies embrace that, and how we need to look at our forms. If there's forms people have to fill out, male, female, what else? We need to look at the other things that we need to include on those forms, and so that it makes us in line with what's happening in the world today. That's it. Thank you.
Councillor Bender, go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just with reference to Corner Brook Transit, I'm just wondering, do we receive any assistance from the provincial government? I asked the question because in last week's provincial budget, there was some fuss created in St. John's with Metrobus that saw a reduction in the monies that they were receiving from the provincial government for the last number of years. I think it was originally $2.1 or $2.2 million down to $1.9 million annually to accommodate basically free passes for people. I believe it's receiving social assistance or in a certain category. And I'm just wondering with a bus, the only other, because I think people forget we have a bus system in Corner Brook on the East Coast. They forget we have one here. They have approximately 5,600 users that both, I know the city of St. John's contributes, as does the province. I'm just wondering, in terms of accessibility, enabling people to get around with the cost of gas, insurance, cars, all of those things that are ever increasing, do we receive any funding from the province for our transit system? Because if they're giving 2.2 million or 1.9 million now to St. John's in the past, I don't know what exact numbers are now, but our bus system carried about 10% of what the St. John's bus system carries. And if that's the case, we should be in line for close to $200,000 in funding to assist these people who really can't afford a car, don't have any other means of transportation to get around the city. So I'm just wondering, and I think I know the answer, but I'm not sure. So I'm just asking the question, do we receive any funding? And if not, Why are we not? And then what are we going to do about it?
Actually, and Councilor Penner has a good question. We did, when the program, which was a pilot program, introduced into St. John's transit system for, I think it was individual, I think you're right, I think it was individuals on income support. We actually inquired about that as well. One barrier we have was our payment system. So being able to facilitate, how would you say it? And Mr. Charles, I'll get you to comment on this after, but not anonymous, but I guess a payment system that did not stigmatize individuals on how they were paying. So an electronic payment system makes that work. So I know Mr. Charles had follow-up on this as well. And I know that's a lot of the reason why we were moving and in the process of moving toward electronic payment. But maybe, Mr. Charles, you can give us an update on exactly where that seems to be right now.
Sure. A number of months ago, I'm going to say 2 or 3 months ago, I did speak to the province about that program. They were interested in piloting it out here as well. But as the mayor discussed, our payment systems don't facilitate that easily. We actually worked with Metrobus to talk about a partnership where we would be able to use their back-end system for their smart cards. Of course, there's a capital cost to that to get that system in place, but the back-end would be covered by Metrobus. We applied for that under the ISIP program last fall, funding to do just that. We haven't heard anything about that. I can touch base with the province again. But as of yet, we haven't heard any word on that application.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. I think it's something that's quite valuable for us to pursue. And, if we can get 10% of what St. John's is getting, because I'm sure there's 400 or 500 residents in this city who could avail of that program.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Anyone else there? Okay, thank you very much. Moving right along to Youth Advisory Committee. Deputy Mayor, if you would please. Oh, I'll let you talk. There you go.
Just once, just let me talk once. I'm smiling when I read the Youth Advisory Committee because we had such a boisterous and happy meeting. I guess it was after the break since early winter and COVID that I can't help smiling as I give this report. I'd also like to send a thank you to Councillor Keeping for coming to the meeting with me also in our group. The Youth Committee met on Thursday, April the 5th to discuss, and we discussed the following initiatives. A representative from the public library attended the meeting to discuss some new programs that the library has implemented, such as Help Now, which is a live tutoring service for K-12 and post-secondary students. Job Now, which is live resume interview and job coaching services, and Rocket Languages, a program that offers 14 different language courses. And I gotta say, it was an eye opener for our youth committee, but it was also an eye opener for me. I never had any idea that 14 different languages are being offered to our library. The committee was encouraged to provide any other ideas for possible future program initiatives for the youth in the community for consideration. They are hoping to include the library representatives in future meetings to collaborate further. So what we're going to do is we're going to send an invitation at every meeting and see if he can join us and help us out with some other things that we can do in our community. The committee plans to proceed with their growing project at Community Gardens again this summer. We have secured another plot at Reed Street. And this will be the third summer that the committee has planted vegetables and herbs in their plot in the community garden and donated their harvests in the fall. Previously, the donations were made to Xavier House and Willow House, and they were well received. And I got to say, we have a youth committee that has a very good green thumb. So a lot of our stuff is certainly received at these places for donations. The committee is also looking for some opportunities to promote the community and recruit new members. And this is going to be done possibly at a job fair that's going to be held here sometime in May. So we're going to have our youth committee to set up a table and they will give out information and probably try to encourage more people to join us at that time. The committee is looking for opportunities to do some volunteering with some upcoming events in the city, such as Come Home Year, and also volunteering at Xavier House. The committee plans to look for some youth funding opportunities and to explore other projects. So as things are happening in the city, we're just hoping that the invitation will be sent out to our youth committee so we can have some representation from them at either Come Home Year or something that's happening within our city. And a great group to work with, and I certainly enjoy every moment I spend with them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions? And again, apologies for my absence. I was away last week and I missed Accessibility Committee and Youth Advisory Committee.
You missed a good meeting.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Good. Thank you very much. Next, we have another thing I missed, Ukrainian relief. And again, I'd like to send thanks to the Deputy Mayor for providing remarks on my behalf. I couldn't make it last Saturday, but I heard it was a well-attended event, so thank you very much. So, Councillor Pender, you have a motion to bring forward. Whoops, let me let you that. I'm slow on the draw. There you go.
That's all right. Gives me a chance to cough first. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, we attended a rally, most of the council, and last week in front of City Hall. We've put up the Ukrainian flag, and we continue to show our support. You've written a letter to the Ukrainian Embassy in Canada outlining our support for them in what is now becoming a horrendous and outrageous war in Ukraine. So when we were at the rally the other day, it was mentioned that, funds are needed. And so we thought we'd bring it to council. So in response to the Russian invasion of Ukraine on the 24th of February, 2022, communities around the world have condemned the unprovoked invasion of Ukraine and have provided financial and other supports to the people of Ukraine. In response to this action, the Corner Brook City Council raised the Ukrainian flag at Corner Brook City Hall as a demonstration of our support to the Ukrainian flag. As I said, we've written and we've attended a rally. I'd like to go a step further, Mr. Mayor, and in an effort to continue to show our support to the Ukrainian people, it is recommended to contribute $1,000 to the Ukrainian relief efforts. So I would like to be resolved to authorize a $1,000 contribution in support of the Ukrainian Relief Fund. So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. A seconder on that?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Any questions on this? And again, I think obviously we'll try to make the most of this donation. I guess there's a opportunity to go through Red Cross. That'd be appropriate?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, the Red Cross or the United Nations Human Rights Committee, either one of those, but Canadian Red Cross does have a Ukrainian Relief Fund. People can also donate directly as well.
Okay, thank you. I saw Councillor Griffin, go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Obviously, I'm definitely going to support this motion, but I also, I can't help but think that I think this is more of a personal thing. I think I'm after hearing already, once you start something like this, where do you stop? I'm all for supporting everything, and I'm just bringing this forward. It's not I think about the Ukrainians are Ukrainian people, what they're going through, and we can help them out any way we can. And the $1,000 is, I got no issue with that, but I just think that it's more for me. That would be something that I should do as a personal thing. I think that I see this as the same as getting your secretary to send you white flowers on a birthday kind of thing, right? I mean, for what we're doing, we're spending somebody else's money and we're taking the credit for it. That kind of thing, that's where I'm going with it. I understand it. I just think that we need to be careful when we're doing this kind of thing because we don't know what's next down the road and stuff like that. And I'm hearing that I can't afford oil, and I'm really struggling with my oil and pay my city taxes. And then I turn around and I see that the city is wealthy enough to hand over $1,000. No questions asked, done, right? And I really find it hard to defend that. I mean, I support the motion. I think it's great to be doing what we do, but I think sometimes some of this stuff really needs to stay on a personal level, like for me to donate to this as a person. I think to donate as a council just looks good on us, and we, you know, everybody's, you know, our pictures out there. But it's not out of our pocket. You know, we're just taking credit for something that, like, kind of rubber stamping something. And anyway, I just
Yeah, no,
one day.
I think we understand where you're coming from there, Bill. It is, and there are endless causes, of course. This one, of course, is top of mind, and is top of mind in many of our residents as well. I definitely understand your point there. Councillor Gill, go ahead.
Yeah, I have to echo what Bill said. Actually, when I was first approached about this, I thought it was us banding together as individuals making a personal donation. I actually had a blank check made out to hand in. But, if Corner Brook City Council is going to take $1,000 out of our budget and give to Ukraine, there's nothing bad about that. There's not one thing bad about it. Because they need help. I'm thinking about Somalia. I'm thinking about Syria. I'm thinking about all the people in the world. And I know it's a big thing and we can't control it. And, you know, Ukraine is in the media now. And yes, we need to acknowledge it. We need to fly the flag. We've had events, not need to. It's not like it's, we want to do it. Obviously, we want to stand by those people. But I honestly did think that it was going to be a personal, individual donation that we would make as councillors together, same as Bill was suggesting. And I'm still going to do that, obviously. But I do also question about precedents. I would rather see the city set itself up to, in addition to, I should say, I would like to see the city say, if refugees come here, these are the supports we're going to offer. This is the housing we're going to provide for you. These are the medical assistances that we can leverage for you. That is very meaningful for these people. So, I'm going to vote for the motion to give the $1,000, but I'm with Bill, but that's okay. We all have our different opinions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Go ahead, Councillor Pender.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I certainly understand where both the councillors are coming from. This is something we have done on rare occasions in the past, and hopefully we don't have to do it on too many more occasions in the future. But obviously what's happening in the Ukraine is one of other things happening around the world. But the urgency in this case is extreme. And I'm sure that if we are successful in bringing Ukrainian refugees to Newfoundland and Labrador, and the province does have an office in Poland to do just that, we may be called upon again to provide assistance, however that might be. Most of that will be through community groups and fundraising and the province. But this is more about demonstrating as a council our support. It's not about credit for us. It's the community's money. It's not our money. And it's about showing support for the people of Ukraine. It's a minimal amount of money in a $38 million budget. And frankly, $1,000 is probably not going to do a lot for Ukraine. It's more the symbolic nature of the gesture. And, if $1,000 can buy whatever it can buy, that's great as well.
Okay, thank you. And again, while we're on the subject, I did have a meeting with municipalities Newfoundland and Labrador, not last Friday, the Friday before, and Minister Byrne gave an update on sort of the status of things there. Now, as it is, the federal government hasn't designated Ukrainians as refugees in the sense that they will be bringing, I guess, a large group over and placing them throughout Canada, as we've seen with other groups that have been fleeing war-torn areas and such. Instead, they're going with a visa program and a work visa program. So we were encouraged by Minister Byrne as communities to seek out options for housing and jobs that we could package together to encourage immigration to our municipalities. It seems that is not really well planned out yet. But something hopefully will come forward either through the province or through MNL to find a way to package this and be able to format to provide or offer assistance. The problem is, of course, as municipalities, most of us don't have our own housing, and we don't provide healthcare and things either. So it is a little bit of a mystery now exactly how that would work. But I got the sense that we're not anticipating plane loads of refugees at this point. But it was clear from everyone that communities would do what they can to help. So I think we're all united in that for sure. So anyway, just an update for council on that. And I don't know if there's anything else. Again, I like Councillor Gill said. There's nothing bad about this idea on its face. So, however, there's no good reason not to do it. So, are there any other comments or questions there? No. Okay, I'll take it to a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Counterminded? Carried. Thank you very much. Hiring policy amendment. Councillor Deputy Mayor, this is an interesting one. Go ahead. Oh, there you go.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Hiring policy. The City of Corner Brook's existing hiring policy has been in place since 1998. The policy requires review with a particular emphasis on the use of gender-neutral language and dealing with more inclusive environment for all staff and residents. So the proposed resolution, be it resolved to direct staff to conduct a review of the hiring policy to make it more inclusive and gender-neutral. I so move.
Thank you very much. Someone like to second that? Seconded by Councillor Gill. Perfect. Mayor, we had a short conversation about this, and particularly, I guess, one thing that we do lack in our current hiring policy is ensuring that there is some representation across gender, and often, as is often the case in City Hall, we are a male-dominated environment, especially when it comes to the senior management level. And some of our policies, of course, that would involve senior management would mean quite often exclusively male environments. So I know that you had expressed concern, wanted to make sure that that we made sure that there were women included in the hiring process, particularly at the management level. Am I getting that right?
Yep.
Okay. Yes, go ahead again.
Okay, I have a question. Is there a timeline on this? Because this is not something that we want brought forward tonight, and if it's approved, to not be, I guess, looked at and the policy brought back in 4 or 5 months. There is sort of, I guess, not urgency, but there is a bit of an urgency because we are hiring some directors now, and if you look at the hiring, go on. When you look at the hiring policy or the hiring, gosh, what am I looking for? The selection committee for hiring for the director would be, right now, it would be all male. Everyone that would be a male. And we have a director who we're looking to hire and looking to hire pretty fast, maybe within the next month or so, I would think. And I wouldn't want anybody to have to do an interview with an all-male selection committee.
Anyone else, I guess, have any thoughts or provide any feedback on? You can see the policy statement is actually pretty short there. So it's not an extensive thing. I'm sure that HR would probably want to include, and the city manager would want to include some other changes while they're at it for sure. But yes, it is a timely matter. Councillor Pender, go ahead.
No, I fully support the motion, Mr. Mayor. I think it's important that we have some gender equity in City Hall, and especially as Deputy Mayor said, when we have a female candidate sitting in front of all male selection board, may not be the most appropriate or most comfortable situation. So doing what we can to make it fair and equitable for everyone is certainly encouraged. And I also, I'm just looking at this as well, and when we consider people with disabilities as well, that could certainly fit the job. But again, making sure that all our hiring policies include everyone and is open to everyone to apply.
Sure. And yeah, and again, I would stress that the city is a very progressive workplace, and that we would be compliant with all our employment equity, human rights, all of that perspective, of course. But as we know, many of our policies are a little dated when it comes to these things, for sure.
1998.
That's a young one, according to Marina. Yes, Councillor Gill, go ahead.
Sorry, I just stepped away there for a second because my cat was driving me crazy and I had to get rid of her. So I just want to reiterate the importance of the pronouns. So he, she, other, we need to make sure that in our hiring practices, we make it easy for people to feel included when they're applying, if there's forms or anything of that nature that they need to fill out. That's all.
Okay. Thank you. Any other comments? So, okay, that's great. And I think what we can do is anything else before we take a vote on that? No? Okay. So all those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Contraminded? Carried. Thank you very much. And last but not least, Councillor Gill, we have a motion on committee structure.
Okay, bear with me. I'm going to tell you a story. At the regular meeting of February 28th, staff were directed to review council committee structures and bring back recommendations for council consideration within 45 days, including a review of terms of reference and recommendations for revised committee guidelines as per motion 22-031. At the Committee of the Whole meeting of March 14th, staff presented an information report on an internal assessment of the existing committee structure, as well as a history of alternate committee structures used by council dating back to the late 1990s. In the report, staff outlined advantages of the Committee of the Whole format versus the traditional committee structure and presented some recommendations to improving the existing structure. Additionally, staff sought further feedback from council on improvements they would like to see to the Committee of the Whole structure. And just for the purposes of our audience, Committee of the Whole is a place where we come together to discuss issues together, as opposed to being sequestered into pockets of committees. We come together and witness reports and learn from those reports as a group, as opposed to me being there and Councillor Granter being there and Councillor Penner being there, kind of thing. It's a more holistic review, just for the audience. As after a comprehensive review, staff have identified that the Committee of the Whole structure, which I just described, is becoming increasingly accepted as the preferred model in municipalities. The Committee of the Whole model is much more adaptable from the departmental structure, and it allows for interdepartmental perspectives in the decision-making process. Cross-discipline, interdisciplinary, departmental exchange of ideas. I'm feeding into this. This is not what they said. That's my words. This model also provides for all of council to be equally informed on all matters in a transparent environment, compared to departmental knowledge being the responsibility of an individual councillor. When the Committee of the Whole structure was adopted in 2020, the primary purpose was to ensure that all council members were receiving the same information and were involved in the discussion and debate for all items, regardless of the department. A further detailed summary of the advantages of the Committee of the Whole format versus the departmental structure is outlined in the attached information report, which I'm not going to read to you because it's super long, but I'm assuming that's available to anybody who wants to read it. So, terms of reference. I'm nearly there, guys. Hang in. The existing Committee of the Whole structure has been in place for close to 2 years and has been operating with an informal terms of reference. Attached is a draft terms of reference for council's consideration. Staff is recommending approval of the proposed terms of reference as attached. Recommendation. It is staff's recommendation to continue with the existing Committee of the Whole structure. It is staff's opinion that this model is a far more efficient structure, which allows for streamlined decision-making in a timely manner, which better utilizes city resources. Any recommendations that council has to improve upon the structure can be implemented in a terms of reference, which is just draft at the moment. So still seeking input, to make it better, basically. Be it resolved to continue with the current committee structure of the Committee of the Whole and approve the proposed terms of reference. I wouldn't mind making a friendly amendment. I wouldn't mind making a friendly amendment to that, Mr. Mayor, if you're okay with that.
Making the motion, go ahead.
Yeah, I would like to say approve the proposed draft terms of reference or the proposed terms of reference in principle, so that at our next council and committee meeting, we might have a look at the terms of reference and make any adaptations as required to make the Committee of the Whole work better for everyone. That's my suggestion.
Okay. Marina, do you have, you got that? Okay, good. Okay, thank you. Would someone like to second this?
I'll second.
Second, Councillor Griffin. Just to be clear, I guess, to your point, Councillor Gill, what we're doing right now is Committee of the Whole. So for our viewing audience.
No, I understand that, but
Or you were trying to explain it to those those out in the internet and Rogers.
yeah. So, and also the reason why I was making the friendly amendment is, I think it behooves us to sit down with the terms of reference as a council and review it together in a council and committee. Maybe I said council the whole when I meant to say council and committee, but I think we should look at the terms of reference together. And
that's what we're doing right now, though. That's what the Committee of the Whole is for, right? We do our business.
Carry on.
We do our business alone, right? Yes. Who would like to speak to this? Deputy Mayor.
Me. Can you read back the motion to me? Because I'm gone up here with the addings and the friendly.
Yes, I can.
The amendment. Can I hear the full motion in full totality?
Yes. Shall I read it again, Mr. Mayor?
Go
I
ahead.
think Marina has it.
Councillor Gill, if you got it there, you can go ahead.
Be it resolved to continue with the current committee structure of the Committee of the Whole and approve the proposed terms of reference.
And there was an addition to that, right? Marina, do you have it there?
I suggested to make a friendly amendment, but everyone will have to agree to that. But as you pointed out, this
So
is
you're making the motion. You're making the motion. So there's no need for a friendly amendment. You can make the motion whatever you want. So your friendly amendment is your own motion.
I mean, okay, yay. So I have the power. So I guess my motion would be then, although I've already stated it already for the record, so I don't know if this really, maybe it needs to be a friendly amendment now, but I mean, I would suggest that we add the word draft in terms of reference.
Okay, so be it resolved to continue the current committee structure of committee of the whole and approved the proposed draft terms of reference. Does that sound right? Yes, okay.
Yes, sorry, yes, I was muted, yes.
No, that's good. Okay, and Bill, that's, and again, that's assuming what you seconded,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you. Okay, go ahead then, Deputy, is that,
Thank you.
okay? So any questions here? No questions? Okay. Okay, let's go to a vote. All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Contraminded?
Nay.
Okay. And it fails.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion, as I mentioned at the beginning of the evening, for discussion. Be it resolved to reestablish standing committees of council for each department with chairs and co-chairs appointed from council members with their consent, of which a committee of the whole can be one of the committees. So moved, Mr. Mayor. I
Okay.
can read it again. Be it resolved to reestablish standing committees of council for each department with chairs and co-chairs appointed from council members with their consent, of which a committee of the whole can be one of the committees.
Okay, thank you. And would someone like to second that motion? Okay, Councillor Pender, thank you. Okay, go ahead, Councillor Gill.
I just gotta say, can we stop backpedaling? Like, honest to God, all we're doing is revisiting history. Like, can we not just move forward? There's nothing wrong with our current system. We are all intelligent human beings. I'm getting information from all the people that I need to get it from. And this is just an exercise in backpedaling. And I'm really frustrated, to be honest. I came on this council to make things happen. What have we made happen since September? What have we really made happen?
No.
No, that's my 2 cents. This is a waste of time. And we need to move forward with the practices that are being put in place across the country. This is not just us. This is across the country. They are using this model. And if you can't accept the model, then you need to educate yourself and figure out how you can learn from the model, because we all need to learn to move forward. I'm very frustrated with this council right now. And that is all I'm going to say.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, go
Mr.
ahead.
Mayor,
Go ahead,
Mr. Mayor,
Councillor
also-
Griffin.
oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Councillor Griffin.
Oh, yeah, I second Pam there. I mean, everything now is in front of the public. Everybody, you know, they're sitting in. People at home are sitting in on our meetings, and I mean, I'll go back to we got councillors in seats that campaign against doing things in private, and these same people are now wanting to go back to that. I don't understand that. I agree with Councillor Gill. Look, guys, we haven't got a darn thing done, nothing done, and we're spending all our time on what is to me it's like you're not getting your own way. So I'm going to keep going until I get my own way. I think it's terrible. The people of our city deserve more. They deserve better. Oh,
Mr. Mayor, I'll speak. Mr. Mayor, could I speak to that, please?
Absolutely.
If you noticed in the motion, Mr. Mayor and fellow councillors, I did say that committee of the whole can be one of those committees, however staff wants to word it. And by reestablishing standing committees doesn't mean that you're reversing to going back behind closed doors making decisions. What it allows council to do, and let's be very clear, it allows council members to be able to sit with the group of directors and staff, if appropriate, if staff needs to be called into appropriate meetings, and have the agenda, discuss the issues, bring forward the items which would come back to the committee of the whole in public, and minutes kept, details kept of what's recorded, because the current structure, we have no minutes being kept in any of those not most of those meetings officially.
What meetings?
Kept.
Sorry, Councillor, what meetings?
Some of the other committees that currently exist, there are minutes taken, but sometimes there aren't always staff members present, like outside of the director level. So you may have questions off staff that need to be addressed, or processes that are being followed. Nothing would be hidden behind closed doors, because everything will be brought forth at a committee of the whole meeting anyway, as we're doing tonight. It will be fully public, and minutes will be recorded. That's the way I look at it.
So you're suggesting that we do closed door meetings for committee meetings?
People could be invited to the meetings.
But we're not. So we're going to go backwards and not do closed door committee meetings?
It will be open door, Mr. Mayor. I'm not saying that there's behind closed doors and locked doors. People want to come from the public, they can attend. We could call upon workers at City Hall if we need anyone brought in at the committee level. The directors, someone will be there recording all the minutes. The minutes will be presented here in public at the committee of the whole meeting. I don't know if anyone else wants to talk about it, the other councillors.
I don't, but I just want to make it clear. So are you suggesting that we don't do these public, we don't broadcast them, we go back to closed door meetings of council where issues are discussed and with staff?
Mr. Mayor, we can have these public meetings. I'm not for behind closed doors, having everything secret. We can have the meetings public. If that's the case, it's not an issue. Not an issue with that, Mr. Mayor. And we could have the draft committee structure that was presented tonight. That could be intertwined into the reestablishment of the standing committees, and just look at that as a full model committee structure with committee of the whole. And how that looks, well, we can go back to staff and let them decide.
So just to clarify, I guess, if we did the committee meetings like one after the other on, say, Monday nights, would that work?
I'd have to give that some consideration. I mean, to answer that question there at the moment, I don't know, but I'd have to give it some consideration. And again, that will be open to all council to have a voice their opinion. There wouldn't be anything wrong with having the committee meeting followed by a committee of the whole, or within a week. One standing committee meeting a month, chaired and co-chaired by someone that's elected from city council, and then bring it back to the committee of the whole, which will be all public. No one is suggesting that any of these meetings will be held behind locked, closed doors without the public or without other people being available. That's not what it's about. Unless there was some really sensitive issues.
Because I can't imagine, there's some councillors here who've spoken very publicly against transparency issues. So I can't imagine they would support going behind closed doors with committee meetings.
And I wouldn't support that either, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Who's next here? Deputy Mayor, you already spoke. Councillor Pender, go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm going to speak in favor of the motion supporting Councillor Granter. Committee of the whole are fine for discussing, debating, deliberating things. They're not meant to be voting meetings, even though we've been voting during those meetings, as we have tonight, bringing motions forward. Standing committees don't have to be behind closed doors at all. In fact, standing committees can be open to the public, open to interested parties. Right now, there's very little opportunity for the public to actually approach council unless they get a special meeting of the full council. So some people might have an issue with a water line or something else that has been bothering them for years or whatever, to use a simple example, and may want to approach a committee to see what can be done and things like that. I really don't have any problem spending an extra hour or two a month in a standing committee meeting, because that's all we're talking about. We're not requiring staff to stay after hours. I'm sure if they have to, there can be some arrangements made to allow them to come in later in the day if they have to stay later in the afternoon and those types of things. But what I do like about standing committees is that there are agendas, there are minutes. These things are public. These are brought forward. So, for instance, last week we had a technical briefing on the fire department, which was a great job. Could have been done in public, for instance. We've had other meetings where we discuss stuff privately, which are not necessarily land, labor, or legal. So we do these things now, and in many cases, they don't get brought forward. We don't do them frequently, but they do happen. So I have no issue supporting this, and we've worked with the Committee of the Whole for the last 6 months, I find myself completely disenfranchised from any information before it comes to us on a Friday, and then trying to get information on a Monday if you have questions. And then being in the uncomfortable position of maybe putting staff on the spot, asking questions in a meeting which they may not be prepared for, or I haven't had time to ask them. So I speak in favor. And Mr. Mayor, if you're going to debate the issues with each of the councillors, then you should step aside and let somebody else take the chair at that as well. Just a normal procedure.
Councillor Pender, under normal procedure, it's customary that the mayor takes the lead on committees and appointments. I think that this is little more than a personal attack on me, actually. Has nothing to do with good governance. And I think that the recommendation from staff here is crystal clear, could not be clearer. And once again, we see council bucking staff. This is, I can't understand if we're going to do it. So as Councillor Grander indicated, we would do this in a public forum. Committee of the whole is basically doing all your committee work in front of all of council. And that's why it's done this way. So I don't understand what we're accomplishing by trying to change this for, other than create an additional fiefdoms of where council committees can't make decisions anyway. So I'm at a loss really at the point is, I don't know, Mr. Cumby, did you receive any feedback at last meeting? I understood that some councillors indicated that they were going to provide you with their thoughts on the memo prepared by the clerk. Did you receive feedback? The additions to this RFP? Well,
No.
Yep.
I did not receive any feedback.
Okay. No questions, no comments?
Mr. Mayor, I did send some questions within the week after the meeting that we had,
Okay,
just for the record.
okay, thank you. Deputy Mayor, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm going to start on a different one. I will be supporting this motion, but I'm also, I guess, going to sit here tonight as a councillor who has served on this for the city of Corner Brook for 12.5 years. And in that time, I have never, ever, ever had the personal attack on me in a public meeting as what I've had tonight. And I'm just going to say me, I can't speak for the rest of the councillors. I'm not getting my own way. I don't operate that way, that I don't get my own way. I have a right to my opinion. I have a right to express my opinion, and I have a right to express the opinion of the people of Corner Brook, to which I was elected to do. But I also have a right to sit here as a councillor for 12 and a half years, consecutive years, and have been voted in by the people of Corner Brook to defend myself from what happened here tonight. And I'm going to tell you that it's not about transparency. I did indeed campaign on transparency. I want information. So I'm going to call for the question right now. I think it's time for us to call for the question. We debated this around. We beat it to a pulp. We all know where everybody stands. I think it's time for us to call for the question and put this to bed for tonight. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let's see. Has everyone had an opportunity to speak to the motion? Okay, thank you. Call the question. Sorry.
I thought we already voted on it. Didn't we already?
No.
There's a new motion on the table to establish departmental committees.
Oh, yes, fine. Sorry. Yes.
Right? Yes.
Of which a committee of the whole can be a committee. No one's saying that you dismiss the committee of the whole.
So we have committee of the whole and we have departmental committees. Would someone like to make a motion, make an amendment to make sure those are transparent? Those are public meetings?
I can do that, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, I can do that.
Will someone support that amendment? Thank you. Okay,
Reestablish public standing committee meetings,
perfect. Okay,
of which the committee of the whole is one of the committees.
okay. Councillor Griffin?
So we're going to now have our committee meetings public.
Yep.
Right? Isn't that what we're doing now?
We're just going to do it in separate times
And that'll change?
with different chairs and co-chairs.
So how will that change anything?
I don't know, but we'll figure it out. Okay. So has everyone had an opportunity now? Yes, I think we have. So we are voting on the proposed, the last read by Councillor Granter, committees that could include committee of the whole and would be held in public. Sound good, Councillor Granter? Okay.
Yes,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Mayor.
Thank you. Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Contraminded? I didn't see Councillor Keeping's hand there. Yay or nay, Councillor Keeping?
Yay.
Yay. Okay, thank you. Okay, that's it for us.
Mis-
Picture-
Mr. Mayor, can I just bring something to the end? I have a really good news story, and I meant to ask you if I could add it to the agenda, but I didn't get the chance to do it. So can I do it now, or
Go ahead.
it's only a short, okay? So the weekend of March the 31st to April the 3rd, the Corner Brook Royals under 11 A team traveled to Halifax, Nova Scotia to participate in the 43rd annual Shearwater East Dartmouth Minor Hockey Association tournament. This tournament is one of Atlantic Canada's largest, with 250 teams playing in 17 arenas over 4 days. The under 11 division alone consisted of 18 teams from the 4 Atlantic provinces. Our Corner Brook Royals A team finished with a record of 5-0, beating Sackville, Nova Scotia, Cole Harbour, Nova Scotia, Tessa from Nova Scotia, and twice defeating Shediac, New Brunswick, including a big 5-3 win in the championship game. We hope to have the championship banner hung in the Kinsman Arena sometime soon. This is a huge accomplishment for the players, the coaches, the trainers, and of course the play-by-play announcers. Congratulations to everyone involved. You certainly made Corner Brook proud. Wow, thank you. It's a good way to end our meeting.
Thank you very much. Okay, good night, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night, everyone.